The people can agree on one thing. This country is awesome. Whether you're right side or left side, it's time to put it all aside and remember how amazing this country is. So sit back, pop a cold one, and grab those pork rinds. It's time for Made in Murica with your host, the Angry Texan himself, Gregory Perritt.
Howdy, howdy. Woo! Hope everybody had a good Easter weekend. I'm your host, Greg Perritt, the Angry Texan. I've got with me one of my very good friends and fellow comic and overall just very tall, awesome dude, Devin Siebold.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on your show in my studio.
Yeah. The Made in Murica is recorded in the Crying in My Car podcast studio.
By the way, I want to tell you that my sister actually messaged me this morning and she goes, I can't find Greg's podcast. And I said, just look up Made in Murica. She said, I was spelling it Murica. I didn't know it was Murica. I said, you should know by now. It's Murica.
Yeah, because the U in it is for you and me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and
that's
nobody else.
Country,
America,
yeah.
USA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, I thought that was pretty funny, but she's apparently listening to it. She's decided to tune in, give it a shot. So shout out to Bree.
Yeah. Shout out. Absolutely. And I got a couple of people I want to give a shout out. Sydney, I'm going to give you a shout out. You started, I saw you the other day. You just straight up came up to me, just shook your head laughing and said, you're an idiot. So obviously you listened.
Or she just knows you.
Yeah, right. It could be either way, but it was good to give a shout out. So Devin, you did some traveling recently. You got to go out and see our buddy Adam.
Yeah, I went to the desert, the Murican Desert, Phoenix, and then hung out in Tempe, and then we drove to what's the other one? There's Phoenix, Tempe,
Scottsdale, Ahwatukee.
We went to Scottsdale where they had the Perritt Jackson automotive auction, and it's I think 4 times a year they do it. Cars going off the lot for hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars at a time. Unbelievable display of cars they had there. Also, a lot of old gas merch, like gasoline signs and stuff. The one thing they had there,
gas signs, like, are we talking
Texaco,
like Gulf? Oh yeah,
Gulf, yeah, that kind of stuff. But like the real deal, like they had a flying horse for like
mobile.
They had one that was, no lie, bigger than this entire room, that was all neon lights, mint condition from like 1950. And I think I watched it sell for, I think, $75,000. It was beautiful. But the one thing they had there that I wanted, that is as Murican as it comes, Greg, you need to have, I want this in my house. I don't know if you ever had one, if you ever seen one. You haven't had one in your home, but I don't know if you ever seen one. They had a wax press dinosaur machine where you put in the quarter and it has 2 sides and they go together, and it pumps it full of like a wax, and then it opens it up and a dinosaur like figurine falls out. You ever had one of those?
No.
Oh my gosh, you've never had one? They got them at the Lowry Park Zoo. When I was growing up, that was the coolest thing in the entire world. Is you put in a quarter, but now it's like $2-3, and these 2 like superheated metal plates come together, and you watch like green wax go in, like green hot plastic. Essentially, it goes in and it just fills up the mold, and it opens it up, and this thing pops out, and it's hot. When you touch it, I mean, it's hot. It's ready to go. And you have a dinosaur figurine. And they had all the different dinosaurs. They had that one there. And I told Adam, I said, I want that in my home. I want dinosaur figurines all over my house. I want to just, people come in and I'll be like, did you get a dinosaur? And they'll be like, no. And I'll be like, you need to get a dinosaur. And
is it the same dinosaur over and over and over?
Yeah, but you can get different molds and change it out, make it a different Brontosaurus, T-Rex, whatever. You can even do non-dinosaur things.
I mean, if you can push a button, it would change it. But if I've got to like get the screwdriver out,
it's a real deal. Yeah.
Well, I guess I better change it to the Christmas dinosaur.
Well, they might have changed it since this Inception. This was an old one.
Well, why does it have to be dinosaurs, dude? Why can't you get like Star Wars molds, like the original, like Han Solo, dude? Like,
you
oh
could
my
get
god,
I
would paint that all day.
But
Indiana Jones.
You could really, though. Really, the only thing dictating what it is the metal. So, you could get a metal mold of the Han Solo frozen, and carbonite and put it on there and have it. Yeah, you could have it commissioned, I'm sure. Now, I will say this. As much as I wanted this, Adam goes, do you know how much that sold for? I said, no. He goes, it was the highest priced memorabilia that they had on the market for the memorabilia side. And it was like $120,000. Like it
for
was
some damn dinosaurs.
But I'm telling you, man,
damn.
the nostalgia behind it. Because when I was a kid, there was a line at Lowry Park Zoo when I was a kid to get one of these things, man. It was the coolest thing to watch.
I've never heard until you said something. I don't think I've ever seen. I've always been like, oh, there's the little penny thing that I can put my penny into and then crank the deal and it comes out flat deal. It says Six Flags Over Texas. That's how I grew up. I don't remember a dinosaur molding deal.
No, they have these. Oh, okay. All right. I've got one right here. So I'm going to bring it up. I'm actually going to bring it up on our StreamYard, and you should be able to hear it, by the way, if you are on the podcast.
Says something went wrong. No, that's the other one. Sorry.
That's you. Yeah. Hold on.
There we go. Okay.
So let's go ahead and bring up the dinosaur mold machine. This is exactly what they had. And I'm going to fast forward it. So this is
next to the model railroad.
Oh, hold up a minute. I like that model train set. That looks good.
Checking on one of his Mold-A-Rama
there it is, the Mold-A-Rama. Exact machine. You put in
quarters.
My
God, it looks like all 1950s
that
globe dome.
That one's $3. Oh, look, a train.
A nickel, a dime, a quarter, and then $1 paper dollar. Just to make sure that everything is working.
Yeah, so you put it in.
Visited Chicago's museums or zoos in the past 50 years or so. Chances are
zoos.
You've encountered a Mold-A-Rama machine.
No, I've never seen this before.
I don't know.
What you see up here under the dome
is
actually the workspace of the machine.
For $3, the machine injects hot melted plastic into a 2-piece aluminum metal mold.
Puts it together.
Air is blown through the model to hollow it out, and then the souvenirs cool down before it's dispensed.
See, that one's a battleship.
Oh, those are bad, dude. That's so cool.
Isn't that badass?
Dude, it wouldn't even fit in this room, bro.
No.
It's
huge.
For the machine to catch up to make another.
The design of a Mold-A-Rama corresponds to its location.
Yeah, see, at the zoo you can get dinosaurs or elephants.
Yeah, but I'm sure that like my buddy Scott, who's real good with AutoCAD, he could probably find somebody that can make one of them molds.
He could.
And then you could have your like friends don't let friends reply all.
Right. Yep. Or you come in and your girlfriend's like, I don't need you anymore. And you're like, don't tell me you molded it.
Oh, that's cute. Oh man, that's awesome.
By the way, we're out of plastic.
Yeah. Like, wait, what happened to all my Star Wars stuff? Han Solo's a part of it now. So what else obviously I've got stock in Ford.
Yeah.
And I was going to buy GM this year, and then all that bull crap happened with AMC and GameStop and all that. But they're all saying, like GM said, all electric vehicles by 2025.
And they had them. And when you walked into that first tent, so they had the opening tent. We went in the back, but we went out the front. When they had that opening
that's
tent,
how it usually happens.
when you have that opening tent and you walk in the door, first off, the big one that they had was the Mustang electric. And the crazy thing is that,
continue,
electric cars don't have shifting. So they actually are dynamically much faster than regular cars. That's the biggest thing is like some muscle car people are like,
shifting.
Yeah, people are like, why would I get that? And then people go, oh, it goes 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds. And you go, oh, okay. But they had a electric
So
Mustang.
It's just one giant gear.
Yeah. And they had an electric Mustang and a traditional 2021 Mustang, and they had them actually up on the stage with the horsepower testing, and you could sit in one and race another person on the rolling track. You know, I mean, you don't go anywhere, but
Until they lock
yeah,
that thing.
Yeah, red, yellow, green, floor it, and the electric one was just destroying the regular gas powered one. But they had an electric Mustang, the Hummer EV. Have you seen the Hummer EV?
I mean, I've seen the commercials and I see the where the tires.
That's awesome to me.
The tires turn or whatever.
Yeah, they just literally the tires turn and you can drive sideways essentially to park. But they had electric Lexus, which looked badass. They had the only one that they did not have an electric of, which I guess is just because they're sticking to the formula, is Corvette. They had a lot of new Corvettes, no electric, but there was everywhere was electric vehicles in the new car tent. That was their showcase, was electric. And
that's going to be the thing is, that's one of the things that defied America was muscle car. And now it's like, well, it's not muscle car. It's like zip car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like just zip, just fast. It's
well, that's the thing is that people.
Well, how much strength did the trucks have to pull?
It's supposed to be, no different, if not better. That's the one thing that everybody has kind of got on board with is a lot of guys like, Murican, muscle car type guys like the speed and love that they get in a car, turn it on, feel the raw part of the engine. And when it comes to these electric cars, it really hasn't been hard to sell them on it because they go, why would I give up my Dodge Charger? And you go, well, because this electric one over here gets the same exact mileage, no gas, can charge in 20 minutes. And oh, by the way, has 400 more horsepower. And they're like, oh, okay.
See, here's the problem. I'm going to end up getting a electric Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
Early in life, I had a problem, and my friends growing up will tell you.
Greg, no, hold on, time out. Do not get an electric Mustang because I have seen you walk in with your phone every day on 5% every day. Every day. You're never going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You're literally going to plug it in and it'll get up to 8% and you'll go, that's good.
No, I used to run out of gas all the time, and one of my vehicles didn't have a working gas gauge, so it was well, I got $5 in there, so I know I've got about 80 miles or so out of it or whatever. And I also delivered pizza in this very vehicle.
In a vehicle that you would run out of gas all the time in?
I wouldn't run out all the time, but I would guesstimate how much I had.
Yeah.
And sometimes I might run out, but I'm coasting into the Circle K. There was a time I was delivering pizzas. It was for a pizza company in Graham, Texas called Aubrey's. And I had my Chevy S15 with no gas gauge. My buddy Ryan ended up, 3 different friends of mine end up inheriting this truck after me. And they were like, dude, I hate the fact that gas gauge doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I'm delivering pizzas. And I asked my friend Stephanie, who worked with me, who's one of my best friends, my mom's best friends. Hey, we're slow today. Would you go on this delivery with me? It's like a bunch of pizza. It was like 3 bags of pizza to this home. And sure enough, we ran out 3 blocks from the house and they had 2 2-liters also.
Oh no.
Yeah. I had to walk them down the street, here's your pizza. Here's my friend that walked with me who was extremely pissed about it.
And they probably gave you $2,
Yeah. Yeah. And $2 back then for gas was great.
Yeah.
It was
was it though?
It was under $1.
So I make this argument all the time. What was the gas mileage of your particular car? See, that's the thing that I never understood. People are like, oh, it's $3 a gallon. I go, yeah, but my car gets 3 times as many gallons or miles per gallon.
I don't know. I guess
because my car gets 32 miles per gallon. And I used to have my first car that I had when it was $1.25 a gallon, and everybody goes, "Oh man, remember those days?" I had a Buick LeSabre. They got 14 miles to gallon.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you're
telling me it was a little 4-cylinder truck.
Yeah, I know, but I just always think it's funny that people complain, and I go, yeah, but we get double the gas mileage. So it really doesn't matter.
Didn't you used to have to pump the pedal to get it to get ready to start it? Yeah, my mom's Buick was like that.
Yep.
She get in early, cold mornings, pump that gas, and then start it.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, I'm in the back seat, like, pump faster. Get this antique piece of crap going. Gosh, man, I got to tell you, man, I would have died if I would have been at that car, because I love looking at old cars. I love new cars.
That was amazing.
Just that electric Mustang, you've got me sold on it, man, because I'm a Mustang guy. I love Mustang.
Oh, they had endless Mustangs there. Endless. Every year you could possibly think of. The rarest of the rare, 50 made, 100 made, all that stuff. It's crazy.
Dude, there's a 2008 Shelby that drove by me earlier today, and he was in the left lane, and he went past it, said Shelby on the back. Sounded like the real deal. I just hate the posers out there. They're like, I'm going to put this 5.0 on the side of this. I'm like, no, it's not.
Now, did you see the
mine's not a 5.0, but it still has 305 horsepower.
Did you see the Lost Corvettes? Did you ever see that thing?
No.
So in 1980, I think my MTV gave away, it was like 1985. They had a giveaway for Corvettes, 50 of them. It was to celebrate the 50th anniversary, or Porsche. Was it Porsche or Corvette? Porsche. Anyways, it was Porsches, I think. And no, was it? I think it's the Lost. I'm going to Google it. The Lost Corvettes. It is the Lost Corvettes. So they're Corvettes. 50 of them were given away as a promotion. And the guy that won them, I guess, couldn't, like, he just was like, okay, thanks. And they just moved it into this big storage facility. And I guess he just forgot about it and just never did anything with it. They were discovered just 3 years ago, I think, or 2 years ago, after being forgotten for all this time. And they are untouched.
How do you forget a Corvette?
Dude,
like
there's
something I'm forgetting today. Is it I paid the water bill.
Dude, I'm dead serious, man. You got to see these photos.
That sounds like Jeff Bezos problems.
Yes, well, that's true. But the photos of it are pretty cool, because it's actually really, like, interesting to see these lost Corvettes. But those are them.
Wow.
just sitting in mint condition and never been the dust. Literally just dust accumulating over them. And they've been sitting there. It was 36 Chevy Corvettes, and it was in 1988.
Where the hell
it was
is
a
it? It
VH1.
looks like in the basement of a building.
It was in
something.
New York, I believe. And apparently there was a 900 number you had to call to enter. The guy that won, apparently.
Wait, there's a Beetle back there. Now, come on.
Yeah, well, I guess
it's a Beetle with a Corvette engine.
Yeah, I know, but it's just sitting there. But all these things were just.
No, it looks
there.
like it's getting ready to transform. They're all like Transformers, ready to go. That's Bumblebee and the rest of the gang.
But anyways, the cool part is they're in mint condition, and they redid all of them, like, just, touched them up, got them into working order. The owner of Gotham Comedy Club actually is now the rightful owner of them.
Oh, wow.
Guess what he's doing with them? And I think it's the most amazing American thing you can do. He's giving them away. Now,
they've been given away twice.
But not all of them. He's giving them away one at a time. And guess how you do it? You donate. You got to donate to Stand Up for the Troops. It's an organization that he started to raise money for troops. So he's raising like millions of dollars for these troops off of these Corvettes, and giving them one away like a month or something like that. But yeah, I met the guy. I met the owner of Gotham Comedy Club. Cool dude. And I got to see a few. He had 3 or 4 of them that were actually there that you could see. And they were beautiful, man. Beautiful Corvettes. Yeah. But you just put in your name, give a donation, and then they do a drawing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Instead of a Corvette, I would just trade that for some stage time up at Gotham.
I know, right?
That would be totally awesome.
Well, he did tell me, he said, anytime you're up in New York City, he said, come on over and I'll put you up. And I was like, done.
And the coattailing begins.
I know, right?
All right. Well, let's, now, did you recently see, this time of year is really big for me. I'm a big baseball guy.
You are?
Yeah, I love the Texas Rangers.
And the Texas Rangers are open.
Did we recently? We'll go into idiots in just a second.
Okay.
But speaking of idiots, I'm kind of waiting to see how this is going to pan out for the city of Arlington and Fort Worth and Dallas. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm on both sides of the equation. Like, I hate masks. I hate all this. Let's just get it over with. But at the same time, our good friend just returned from a trip from burying his dad from complications from COVID. And I, for one, as an American, say that me personally, I wear a mask so that when I'm in public, I limit the possible spread to other people if I have it.
Yeah.
If you don't, that's fine. I've already had somebody yesterday say, dude, you can take that mask off around me. And I'm like, actually, I'm 6 feet away from you. I'm good. Not that, and when this is all over, I may still wear a mask just because I don't like people. But
you can curse at them underneath your mask. It's great.
And sometimes, I'd if a girl has a cold sore, she's got a mask on, be like, well, she just doesn't want anybody to see her face. Or she might got buck teeth. You've seen what the mask have done to all these people. They're coming out of the woodworks.
Mm-hmm.
Girls that have been like, I've had herpes for years, but I'm going to come out now. I can get out and you're just looking at me.
By the way, Murica Podcast at gmail.com for all your hate
mail. So you have had your one round of COVID shot.
Yep. And I got the second one on Sunday coming up.
Oh, okay. I have my second one coming on the 30th.
Mm-hmm.
If I get those shots, I probably would go to a ball game like that.
Sure.
I want to go to that stadium so bad. I'm a diehard Rangers fan. I've been to so many games, so many autographs. I've been my whole life. Baseball tattoo on my arm. I grew up just the diehard Ranger fan.
Mm-hmm.
And this last weekend, it just scared me. At the same time, it's like, well, what if nothing happens?
Yeah.
What if there's no big thing, like, are we in the clear? Are we good to go?
They're outside. I mean, I don't think the spread would be as bad. If you're sitting 2 rows behind me, I might get it if you have it and you're, yay, oh yeah, wow, If you're 4 or 5 rows behind, I don't think you're going to have any issues. It's not enclosed, but I mean, you do take the chance because you're literally sitting arm to arm with a complete stranger, and that complete stranger is likely not wearing a mask. And they're just, you don't know where they've been, what they've been up to. I mean, it's crazy to me, but people don't know. James Yon, our good buddy, he had COVID. His wife had COVID. His wife had a bad time with it. She ended up with a inhaler. He ended up 2 weeks being able to not even breathe hardly at all. And guess where they got it?
He's a big dude.
Guess where they got it?
Where?
Her sister. Her sister came over for Thanksgiving and is a pharmacist and even took a test prior to getting on the plane to go to the house to, or not getting on the plane, to going to see them. And she had it. She didn't know. And she was just living it up. Hey, whatever. And it spread it to everybody at the Thanksgiving dinner. Everybody there. Not just one person. The whole family got it.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. But that's the kind of thing is you
I haven't gotten it yet. Or have I had it?
What if
I don't
she had
know.
a test and was like, you know what? I think I'm good to go to the Texas Rangers game, and sits around a family of 4 and they're laughing, chatting it up, cheering, yay, woo. I mean, it's 2-3 hours sitting next to somebody that's a foot away from you. If that,
Yeah.
You got a lot of confidence in them,
It's just, I don't know. That's the part that gets me is that what if a lot of it's just started to go through? I mean, we're still getting a lot of cases. They said there's a rise. My friends that work at the hospital here say, no, it really hasn't lightened up any.
Yeah.
But yet I still haven't caught it. I've got it in me right now. I've got the first vaccine dose.
Mm-hmm. How many days ago?
It's been over a week and I have my arm's not sore anymore. I can tell you that.
So you'll start within the next 3 or 4 days developing the antibodies.
Okay.
Right now, your body's still trying to figure out what the hell's inside of you.
Yeah, it's probably also
it's right around 9-10 days that they say that you start to have the resistance. And the good news is you got the Pfizer or Moderna. So Moderna, you'll have like 70% by within 12 days, I think they said. So about 70% immunity.
Hopefully it'll take care of my sour stomach from eating it on the border last night.
True. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, because I little side story, I think I ingested some raw chicken last night, and the restaurants are hurting, guys. be easy on everybody because they got really limited staff. No one wants to freaking work.
No.
Everybody's a lazy piece of crap right now. I'm going to make 800 sitting at home instead of going out and being a productive member of society.
But the thing is I had that conversation with an Uber driver, and he goes, "Can you blame him?" And I said, "No." I mean,
really
if
can't.
I was 18, 19 years old and they were like, "Yeah, you can collect unemployment for the next, year and a half, you can make money and go hang out with your friends and make probably more than you were making waiting tables," I would go, "Yeah." I mean, I think we all would. I can't get mad at it. You wish that people had
I'm mad at the people that are coming out to the restaurants treating everybody like crap.
What's going to suck though? Yeah. But what's going to suck though, I'll tell you right now, more than anything, is when it dries up, you're going to have a line out the door of people trying to apply, and you can't hire everybody. Then we're going to have some people that now A, don't have a job, and B, don't have unemployment anymore.
Yeah.
They've used it all up. So that's when it's going to, S will hit the fan. So.
All right. Well, speaking of idiots, let's go into idiots in the news.
All right, let's do it.
Idiots in the News is brought to you by drugs. Because if you do drugs, you'll be an idiot in the news.
Get in here. Coming in. Y'all want to buy some drugs?
So when it comes to dumbasses, let's go to the state of Alaska. Farthest thing from Florida.
Yeah.
Farthest.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to say, I came across this story and I was like, really? Did this really just happen? A robbery, bank robbery.
Mm-hmm.
The suspect goes in there, robs the bank, gets $400. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how they caught him?
How?
He's sitting out in front of the bank on the steps, counting the money. I'm not making this up.
Man.
I'm not making this up. Michael Gale Nash was taken into custody by police in Anchorage a few minutes after leaving First National Bank in Alaska with $400 in a bag. It is my understanding he was sitting outside the bank counting his money.
Did they give him all ones? He's like, the police are like, "We're here to arrest you." He's like, "Do you have quarter rolls?"
He's sitting there going, "You know what? One of these is going to be one of those rare $1 bills. I know it's in here."
Think about it though. It might be also the most genius plan ever. Because if you're a police officer and you arrive to a bank, robbery, I would walk right past that man. I'd be like, "Well, that's just clearly an individual who's, frequenting the bank."
I'm thinking the cops they show up and they're like, and they just look down and they're like, "Sir," and this is Anchorage,
right?
Alaska.
Yep.
$400. Anchorage. Do you know how big Anchorage is, like population wise?
No.
It's about the size of Lakeland, Florida. It's very small.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, up there though, that's a lot of people, but they probably only have like maybe 8 or 9 banks in the whole town.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
now I've got an idiot in the news for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I read this one yesterday, and I'm surprised you didn't find it because it was all over the Ledger, our local paper. A girl was test driving a car. Did you see this one?
Yeah, you're right. That's my next one.
Is
actually? Yeah, that's my very next one.
Yeah.
Comes from the great metropolis of Winter Haven.
Yeah. Went to go test drive, and apparently when you test drive, I know because I just bought a car, they don't ride with you anymore. They just tell you, "Hey, go down the street and come back."
Yeah, she didn't come back.
Didn't come back. The police found her, had all of her belongings in the car.
Yeah, and groceries.
Yep.
She went to the store.
Yeah, and
but she took the tag off.
Would you like to know how they found her?
Yeah.
What do you have to do when you go on a test drive?
Well, they give you something that tracks the car. That's how they found it.
Yeah, but also you hand them your license to make a copy of it.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Okay, where's she live?" "Well, I happen to have a copy of it right here."
Yeah.
And she was at home.
Well, they had they GPSed the car
Mm-hmm.
and saw where she had been going, and they're like, "This is a little bit longer
Did she
than
really think that she could just go, "Okay, I'm going to take this car and I'll be gone and it'll be forever mine"?
like forever ago, people actually did that. That was a thing before GPS.
Yeah,
She took the tag off the car and put a fake one on.
that's crazy.
I know, dude. And it happened in Winter Haven. I was like, awesome. And she looks like a complete idiot too. Here's a story out of Florida, because we cannot do an idiots in the news unless we mention Florida.
Well, Winter Haven's Florida.
Yeah, but
we'll continue to mention Florida.
I know, but Winter Haven's it's not as bad. I mean,
Right.
there's a lot of idiots here. Okay, you always see the post in different various police stations and police associations around the country where they say, hey, if you feel like your meth is bad or your drugs are bad, bring them down to the police station and we'll test them for you.
Yep.
That is because this really did happen. I looked that up. I was like, why does this always come up? It happened in Florida, sir.
Really?
Florida. Yes, it is. Douglas Peter Kelly, 39 of Hawthorne, told detectives from Putnam County Sheriff's Office that he had a violent reaction after smoking methamphetamines that he had purchased a week earlier and wanted investigators to take a look at the product. So they said, well, bring it down.
Make sure the consumption was, oh my God.
And he brought it into him in aluminum foil, handed it to him. And I said, I think this is a really bad batch. You guys need to check it. And they were like, okay, we're now going to check you into the jail. And they did. And the guy's face.
Was he in jail going, so like, was it bad?
But his face is just like, it looks like the fail horn. I don't know if Douglas Peter Kelly, it's a Putnam County Sheriff's Office. It's a
right.
His face looks like an actual just fail. Like, oh God, what was I thinking?
Okay, I've got him up here, and I'll go ahead and share it so you can see Douglas Peter Kelly. He looks it looks like he's about to get a haircut, and they're not giving him a lollipop.
I know. He's like, he just looks like the kid in the memes that says, I ate dirt when I was little, and it's got the mud all
I'd be
over his
pissed too
face.
if I had 3 first names.
Yeah. Wait, which one do we go by? Go by the alias.
Douglas Peter Kelly.
All right. And,
DPK.
okay. And one of my favorites that I ran across, this one got to me and I had a little chuckle because I was like, nice. Like, I feel like this is a lady that we could bring on the show and she would actually probably not be such a bad person. A Connecticut woman was arrested on Saturday for driving while intoxicated and heading to the liquor store shortly after, where she was rearrested again for the same crime. She got arrested for DUI, got bailed out,
and
got
decided
bailed
to go
out,
right
and
to the
then
liquor
got
store.
home and got in her car. She blew hold on, this one, I probably wouldn't hang out, but it just seems like that kind of friend that would help you move furniture while they were hungover. She blew a .23, nearly triple times the legal limit. Gets out of jail. And, she also got charged with they found a painkiller in her purse. It's probably hers, but who knows. And then 6 hours after being released, she headed to the liquor store, and she was still at a .09.
So she was still barely. Yeah, it's barely, but still.
I'm thinking, man, if she could have waited like 2 more hours.
Yeah.
You know, like,
had some crackers.
well, I really need to, maybe get a sandwich or something.
Right.
You know? It's just pretty bad.
Idiot.
So, yeah, idiots in the news, brought to you by drugs. All right, let's go to On This Date, my friend.
On this date, what will happen?
It's time for On This Date. Those that don't know history are doomed to repeat it.
Today is April 6th.
I should just leave that in the background, though.
I know. Today, April 6th. Rarely do you ever hear of a story of somebody who was born and died on the same day. It sounds like a riddle, right?
Yeah.
So-and-so was born today. He died yesterday. What is he today? One of those stupid riddles. This actually happened to a legend. One of my favorites. One of the guys whose music I come up to.
I was about to say, are you about to say Kurt or Lane?
No.
No.
It's the guy that...
Because we just passed the anniversary of Kurt and Lane passing.
Yeah.
Who's this?
This is the legend himself. He died and was born on the same day today.
Today?
Yeah. Country outlaw,
Johnny Cash?
legend, Merle
Haggard. Gotcha.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, man, I listen to Merle at least twice a week, if not more. I love Merle Haggard. Mama Tried. Oh, that's one of the greatest songs ever.
It sucks that your last breath is blowing out your birthday candles.
Yeah. Well, apparently he had called it. He had told his wife that he's probably going to end up dying on his birthday.
Wow.
And he died. But he was such a cool dude. Today is actually in the state of Tennessee. It's considered a state holiday.
Really?
Merle Haggard Day. I think happy hour is like extended before 5 o'clock.
I believe that.
It's like we started at noon today for Merle Haggard Day.
Celebrate his birthday, celebrate his death. You got to drink twice. Yep.
Also today in the history of New York and the history of our country, Murica, the very first session of Congress took place in a town hall in New York City.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's really all the on this days I had. There wasn't really much going on. And also the United States on this day in history recognized. That's all it says. Recognized Nazi Germany's conquest of Austria.
Ooh, yeah.
I think they were just like, well, you do you. Just leave Poland alone, and it didn't work out that way. So
did not at all.
So let's go into my absolute what I have been dying to do a segment on, and what is the most American thing ever. Let's go back in the day.
E.T. Home Phone.
When there was G.I. Joe and Atari, Saturday morning cartoons and Sony Walkman.
Cowabunga, dudes.
Chillax.
Time to take a trip down memory lane when blockbusters were big and MTV actually played music videos. It's time for Back in the Day.
Gosh, I miss watching MTV as a kid, man.
It
was a babysitter for some time. My parents were like, well, we don't like that David Lee Roth, but yeah, he's not bothering us. We have alone time.
Right.
But I got to tell you, what is one of the most influential things you could add to movies? What made America's cinema American?
I always think of the voice guy, one world, one planet, that guy.
That dude's dead. They've had
I
like
know.
3 since,
yeah, but I remember it's so crazy because I always watch like old school stuff and sometimes the trailers and things like that. I mean, he did every trailer through like the 80s and 90s. Every trailer was like coming soon to a theater near you. It was just like every single one.
It was like Pretty Woman. He was all like, there was this whore
in a whore,
and Richard Gere comes along.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, that when I hear his voice, I always think, I always think cinema when I was growing up.
That's for me, just because I'm a little bit older. It was the 80s stunts. It was the Stuntmen. It was all of the I'm sorry, and people looking right now, and anybody fight me. One of the most American things you could ever be in your life is a Hollywood stuntman.
Yeah, our buddy
stuntman.
Our buddy Derek is a stuntman.
Yeah, Derek Russo, badass.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed watching him get his ass kicked by Johnny and Danny. That's awesome. I mean,
he's got beat up quite a few times.
Dude, I'm sorry, Derek, if you're watching, man, I'd retire, dude. You just hit the pinnacle. I mean, forget the clips of Clint Eastwood and all these other things. Dude, you got to fight both the guys in Karate Kid at the same time.
Yeah.
Dude, you're one of my heroes,
I think
Derek.
He punched Bradley Cooper too.
Yeah.
I think in one of those videos.
Oh yeah. I think he's a badass and a funny guy.
What a reel.
And he's such a nice guy too.
Yep.
Yeah, Derek Russo, look him up, everybody. He's a super cool guy. And I will also say for American stuntmen are concerned, honorably mention Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan, yeah, he's there.
Yeah, we adopted him. He's done enough for American cinema that we consider you one of our own. and you can live in Hong Kong, whatever. We still claim you to being pretty awesome at our stunts.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I loved growing up as a kid and during sitcoms was the action pack, like A-Team,
Mm-hmm.
Knight Rider.
I watched a little bit of Knight Rider growing up. I remember watching Baywatch. Baywatch has a lot more action than you would think. Like Baywatch wasn't just about the babes. Like there was always like drug smugglers on the beach,
Right.
and like a child trafficking ring or something like that. Like it was like NCIS meets, Baywatch kind of thing.
Yeah, that's just a continuous, everything on TV back in those times had to be action packed, had to have stunts.
Yep.
Well, there was a show that starred former actor of the previous show, $1 Million Man,
Mm-hmm.
Lee Majors.
Mr. Majors.
Starred in one of my favorite shows as a kid growing up, and I couldn't tell you what any of the episodes were ever about. I just remember seeing this badass Chevy,
Mm-hmm.
box Chevy. It's a 1981 GMC K2500 wide side with the Sierra Grande equipment package. It was one of the best trucks ever with a lift on it and everything. And I swear, I bet they jumped it every other episode.
Every episode, actually.
And the
But
show
I just noticed, by the way, I'm looking on YouTube. There's actually a behind the stunts Fall Guy documentary.
oh wow,
for
we're gonna have to
13
watch it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've never seen the Fall Guy was awesome because it started out with a cool song sung by Lee Majors, wrote by a dude who wrote it about a stuntman, and he said it was the ballad of the unknown stuntman.
Kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine. I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone past with a girl named Bo. But
God, look at that truck. Oh, Me Too movement can't do that anymore.
No.
Oh, right in the ribs.
I take my chances. I die for living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch
This is back in the day when the opening sequence is 17 minutes long of a 24-minute show. Oftentimes I choose to jump a school bus full of children.
No, the best part is when I'm introducing you to this show, it just showed, Heather Thomas is in this.
She's very pretty, and
Yeah.
they chose to showcase her.
Yeah, and they replaced her later with Marky Post
Did not know that.
right before she went to Night Court.
Interesting. Blowing
Dude.
up.
Dude,
Yeah.
just
Look, even a plane did not jump.
hey, hey.
It's
See,
all
that's how you
stunts.
get ahead of a Porsche. You just jump them.
There's
Oh no,
Marky
there's
Post's
Marky
steering,
Post right
yeah.
there. She's looking at Heather right now, going, "That girl's so pretty."
You know
See,
what?
this was
I'm
back when-
telling you though. I'm kind of, I'm kind of sketched out by this because I just watched a vehicle fall off of a cliff, and that vehicle, by the way, I think probably went for $170,000 at the recent.
What is that?
Barrett
It looks
Jackson.
like a blue Buick.
Yeah, something
convertible
like that.
or
But
something,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, man, that is all these cars that they just blew up. The one that got hit by the train. I mean, all those cars could have been at the Barrett
Yeah.
Jackson Auto, making
And-
them a bunch of money.
And they had tons of them. Like they said that they used like 3 or 4 of these Chevys. GM went ahead and just gave them all these trucks and said, "Here, just use these for your show, do whatever."
And then day 2 of shooting, they're like calling up GM. They're like, "We're
We're
gonna
out.
need some more."
Yeah, we just jumped through. There's a 5-minute. If you look it up, there's a 5-minute montage of this truck jumping.
It's literally the equivalent, the truck equivalent of dinosaurs, where they're like, "We're gonna need another Timmy." You remember when they kept
Yeah.
blowing up Timmy, every single one on Mr. Wizard? Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
a throwback for you too.
Yeah, the show was awesome. Lee Majors, it went a few years,
Mhm.
and it never got past 19 on a Nielsen rating, which means it was probably a show that mainly dudes watched. I know me and my dad watched it. My cousin Michael Brett, he watched it. There's everybody that I've talked to that remembers watching it were like dudes, and then
I
the
imagine.
girls aren't really remembering too much.
Well,
They're
because
like,
literally the only woman in the entire show they showcase in the bikini in the opening credits.
yeah,
And literally the song says, I spent time with Farrah, I've rolled in fire with Sally Fields. Like,
yeah, it's the Ballad of the Unknown
This
Stuntman.
is just the guy that,
The ladies end up with him, and while he's bandaging his knee.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's if you ever listen to the lyrics of the song, it's pretty sad and lonesome. The dude's they're just lonely, and he's just, hey, I'm a badass, though.
Well, nobody wants to ride with him because he keeps jumping over shit. I appreciate this. But every time you give me a ride to work, we go through a fireball over top of a school bus.
Now, Devin, when you were out at the Barrett Jackson, and you were like, hey, I'm here at Barrett Jackson, what was the first thing I texted you to go in
the Fall Guy truck?
Yeah, I said go bid on the Fall Guy truck.
They had some trucks that were similar to the Fall Guy truck for sure,
but it didn't have a giant eagle on the hood.
No.
See, that's what I want. I want the Fall Guy exact truck in life. And people are like, dude, that's an old cool fixer upper. Like, dude, it's the Fall Guy truck. Stop breathing in its direction. But
it was pretty cool though. Yeah, I gotta admit, I gotta watch the show a little bit more. I don't know if it's still on syndication or anything, but I'm gonna watch the documentary. I want to see.
Yeah,
how they
I'm eager to see the documentary, and on our next episode, we'll do a recap of how crazy it was. Watch, dude. I bet you're gonna have like 20 Me Too things come out on Lee Majors. It's gonna be hilarious.
Guarantee.
All right, well, folks, this has been Made in America, a podcast for Americans by Americans. I'm American. I'm awesome. I'm from Texas, and I got my good buddy Devin here
From Florida, the other Texas.
And we'll have Mike Lee back in the studio soon. So he's currently fighting with his neighbors is one of the reasons he couldn't make
Which
it
is
today.
also American.
Yeah, there's nothing more American than fighting with your neighbor.
Right.
Especially over border disputes like fence lines and barbecue grills and what have you.
Fun.
Devin, what you got coming up, son?
DevinComedy.com for upcoming tour dates. I actually just this minute updated it right before we went live with the broadcast. So it's all up to date.
All right. And you can continue to check here. We're going to be putting out some more videos for the TikTok Nation and some of the other stuff like we did did I say it right? TikTok Nation?
Sure.
I don't know what. Man, we're too old for this crap, but we're still putting it out. The extended warranty videos, we got a little niche going, so keep supporting us there. Keep supporting live comedy, and we'll check you guys soon. Made in America, right here in Winter Haven, Florida.
If you had a good time, give us a hell yeah.
Woo! Hell yeah!
Email us at AmericanMadePodcast@gmail.com. You can also find The Angry Texan on Facebook at The Angry Texan Comedian, Twitter at The Real Angry Texan, YouTube at The Angry Texan, Instagram at The Real Angry Texan.